All right, welcome gang to the strategy demo section of our lesson today. What I want to do is take you through the process that we would use to audit a website's SEO strategy and to start crafting that process. So I'm going to be very informal about this, but I think you can still take away a lot of the process here. We're going to surf a website. This is Moment Lens, which is run by a friend of mine, Mark, here in Seattle, Mark Barros. And Moment Lens is this very cool device that you can screw on basically to the lens of your cell phone. So I can take my cell phone here, attach a little thing here, screw on a lens, and then get essentially the magnification and all these resolution things that you could never get with a normal cell phone camera. Pretty cool. So Moment has their marketing challenges and their issues, and this is where the SEO process comes into play. So let's browse the website. It's obviously lovely. Clearly, they're very good photographers. They have a number of products that they sell that screw onto different lenses that screw onto different phones and cases and that kind of thing. I think this is lovely and fine. It's a very simple message on the front. But the questions that I would start asking here are, hey, Moment team, who are your target customers? Who's the audience that you need to reach right now, in the next 6 months, in the next 2 or 3 years? What sorts of content are you creating now? Are you thinking about creating? What things have resonated with this audience in the past? Who do they pay attention to? Who are their influencers? I want to know a little more about what their goals are, their objectives for the next quarter and the next year, especially when it comes to who they're trying to reach and how they're trying to reach them. From there, we can start to craft our keyword strategy and our content strategies and brainstorm those ideas of, all right, what are we going to make? What are we going to optimize? What do we need to worry about in terms of what we should rank for? Do we need to concern ourselves with different search engines outside of Google and niche websites and placements in other places? Do we need to think about our presence on places like Instagram, for example? Do we need to be thinking about what we're doing on Amazon.com and whether we need to come up in searches there? So these broad questions will lead us to the tactical, items that we need to pay attention to. And for the purposes of this, let's take a brief look at their website. You can get a sense, because they have several different types of lenses and lens cases, and because they're showing off examples of the photography that you can achieve here, we can already get a sense of a few of those keywords and content items. We can see where our keyword and content strategy is going to take us. And that brings us to our next point here, which is I'm going to show you how to do some keyword research briefly, very briefly, how to start building some content. I'm going to use my blog in WordPress to do that. And then I'm going to ask you all to create some content of your own and optimize it. When we craft these tactics that map to objectives, one of the key things that we want to make sure we do is to measure our success and then be willing to change our tactics if they're not working, right? Be adaptable and evolve based on the data that we learn. So if we find out, hey, we're great at producing beautiful photography, but it's not getting consumed, people aren't really paying attention to it, we're not having a lot of success there, maybe we need to think about other kinds of content. If we're writing a blog and our blog posts are falling flat week over week, month over month, and we don't feel like we're making progress there, maybe we need to invest in a new form of content. And I think this is a key when it comes to all tactical mappings to objectives, is that we need to be flexible and we need to figure out the intersection of three things. The intersection of what we're good at, which may not be the same thing as what we initially thought we were going to be good at, what we're good at, where our audience actually is and is paying attention, and where we can provide unique value. If you find the intersection of those three items in the Venn diagram of strategy, you're going to have success with your tactics. You just need to be willing to measure and willing to evolve based on what you learn.